Greetings. What's up? This is Sufara. Welcome back to Keys for the Unhinged. This would be episode 11, if I'm not mistaken. I pray everyone is well. I pray you've been well. I pray you're happy. And you're doing what's best for you so that you can be the best version of yourself. And those who are in our corner, close knit, can obviously benefit from us being the best version of ourselves. Not even the ones that are just close knit to us, in our circle, but just as a whole. Um, People being able to benefit from us doing self work and being the best version of ourselves. Um, I am good. I think it's probably been about 2 weeks again, maybe since I've done my last podcast. But even right now, it's kind of late. I was gonna do some work, but let's see, it's 12:58. But I'm not tired like that. I actually took 2 naps today. Um, Today is the day that we rested. And I've also had a headache, and I do now too, but it's all good. Um, it's just I don't know if it's tension, I don't know if it's stress, um, but earlier when I took a nap, I did, of course, do some massaging on my head. I did some massaging behind my neck. Um, and it felt better. I did release some tense, um, how would you say that? I was tense right here. And I did release some of the tenseness right there. But a lot is going on. My mother-in-law, she turned 95 in July, and she had a stroke, I guess, about a year and a half ago. And so she has actually, when she had the stroke, she actually lost control of her right arm, and she was right-handed, and her speech was uh, messed up. She was still able to, communicate, but her speech just has been altered. And so with um, the mother-in-law and the children and life anyways, it's been busy around here. Oh my goodness, it's been busy. And also today, Hannah, she went to the dentist, and it wasn't a good visit. She she has been diagnosed with dental tooth decay, and she's 3 years old. So, um, everything, of course, that, the dentist, well, the nurse before the dentist even came in the room, she was like, well, of course, we need to talk about diet. We need to talk about certain um, daily routines that you have in your home that could be the cause of this, you know. And once we talked about the diet and, how I am, it's like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing really to alter or fix in that area. Only thing different that was suggested that I don't do was to get an electric toothbrush. But it's just, that within itself, no parent wants to hear, that their toddler is having tooth decay. Like I said, she's 3 years old, and She did breastfeed. She never used a bottle, but she breastfed as much as she wanted. If she wanted to suck through the night, she did. It's just we exclusively breastfed, and it was whenever she asked for it. Um, Mine, I had always wanted to nurse them. If I nursed them to sleep, then pull away. But as soon as you pull away, they're like, and latching back on so it's just I was telling my daughter, life doesn't necessarily come with instructions. But it works two ways, because it kind of does. I think that's what elders are for, to guide us and to give us instruction, and you know, to give you feedback on what it is you're doing or what it is you're not doing. So elders play a huge role. But these days, actually having elders that you can confide in, having elders that will give you good sound wisdom and sound judgment, sound correction, is almost impossible for me and where I am. It's probably not possible, not impossible in Nigeria or somewhere else. But here it's almost impossible because the elders themselves have been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed. So it's it's definitely an interesting place. And when we left, that like she didn't. I knew that of course they call it bottle mouth. So I knew that the diagnosis was going to be tooth decay. Um, I didn't hear anything that I didn't already know, and especially with me in the position that I am in, with me being such a caring mom and wanting to make sure I feed my children the best foods, make sure they wear natural cloths just so um, they can be helped as a whole, you know, um, and not hearing, but getting a confirmation of what I already knew, um, I can say disturbed my head more, but my headache was yesterday also. So, um, it's, it's, oh, I was about to say, with me and, my spiritual journey and um, wanting to do things differently, wanting to approach situations differently than I have before in the past. My husband's like, well, I asked him first, and I could tell, you can tell both are lost in thought, okay, while we're driving back home. And I'm like, what are you thinking? He was like, he really didn't say nothing. He was like, what do you think? And I was like, actually, he said, well, I don't really know. And I said, I laughed. I said, I don't really know either. I said, but what I do know is all that matters is like right this second, because woulda, shoulda, couldas in the past, they're irrelevant. They're irrelevant. So I told him what I'm trying to do is stay right now in the present and not beat myself up for 100,000 things that I could probably think of that I could have done differently, um, to prevent today. You know what I mean? But sometimes it doesn't work like that. That's why it's important to heal before we get married, um, and even before we, I think, venture out and have children. Because if you're not healed and you're still dealing with trauma yourself, you're not fully focused on that individual. You're not just fully aware you see things happening, and you take certain precautionary measures and you take certain avenues to fix things. But if you're in your own battle, it's hard to attend to another one fully. And I don't think that needs to be explained. I'm pretty sure you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. So, um, of course, once the dentist came in, she was like, "Oh, well, of course, she has full body, not even full body. She has full mouth tooth decay. Okay, the top are worse than the bottoms. But she was saying, we only thing really, she said, you done everything you can do at the house. You'd have done what you can, and I did take her to a biological dentist too. If anyone was thinking, I did take her to a holistic dentist. But like you done whatever you can do at home. You can't pretty much do no more. And that's pretty much how she said it to me. And she said she would need anesthesia, which of course with her age it would be best to do it in the hospital, but we would want to pull some teeth and put silver caps on some teeth. And and the nurse, she said, well, we would want to, sedate her. I said, which that don't sound good. She's like, but of course it would be because we need to pull some teeth. And I said, and mm, that ain't happening either. I told her it's a difference when certain things are just necessary. Um, it's necessary, and so you have to do certain things. But if there's no infections, if there's no bleeding gums, I don't see the reason to do that extensive work that you're talking about. Especially if my husband was thinking that them sedating her and then them pulling some teeth and then them capping some teeth was going to restore the teeth that you just told me was decayed, and I was like, so he kept asking questions. He's like, I just want to know if this is going to restore her teeth. And I was like, basically, what she's saying is they're just trying to cover her teeth and stop it so it doesn't get worse. But what you're doing and what you're talking about taking her through for her teeth is you're not there. It's not going to help her teeth. It's only going to pause, break, stop. You know what I mean? Like it's only going to stop supposedly what is already going on. So it's an interesting day. It was an interesting day. Tomorrow in the morning, we're supposed to take my mother-in-law to the emergency room. She's been needing to go for about a month now. She's so stubborn. Oh my goodness, she's so stubborn. She's a feisty thing, and she's 95. So of course, she was feisty before she turned 95. So now she's feisty plus 95. You know what I mean? She is a wonderful person though. She is wonderful. She's a sweetheart. Oh my goodness, but she is feisty. But um let's see, I've been around, like I tell her, she might say something or try to make something seem like this, and I'm like, "Hello. I've been around 16 years now, so I know you. I know you. Mm-mm. No. You can't pull that trick. No. I already know you, And she looks at me like, well, darn. And I look at her like, yeah, well, darn, because no. Mm-mm. So, but she's not doing good. Um, she's swollen, pretty bad. And finally, she decided to, like go to the hospital. She was telling my husband, if you call the ambulance or if you take me to the hospital, you don't love me. You don't care about me, And then finally, I yesterday. I was like, I was like, so, okay, look, obviously she's not thinking correctly. She's not in her right mind. So what are you going to do? And then, today when I woke up, excuse me, he told me that we were going to take her to the hospital. And she agrees to, actually, which is awesome, that she's not fighting against it. Um, I think her, she was, kind of scared that, okay, if I go to the hospital at 95 and me being sick, going to the hospital, I might not come home. And it's valuable, I mean, like, I get it. But if you're supposed to come home and your time is not up here, then your time is not up here and you'll come home. And him too, I'm like, are you scared? Are you scared that she's going to go to the hospital and not come home? And I told him the same thing, like, if it's her time, she's not going to come home. If it's not her time, she's going to come home. I mean, like, and I mean, it is what it is. So it's just, like I said, I wasn't even going to put my camera on. I was literally going to start working on some stuff that I'm working on. Um, and I guess I needed to talk. I needed to vent. I needed to vent and talk, you know. Uh, but life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. About my daughter's teeth, she's 3. Um, they will fall out. I will, like I said, she suggested to get an electric toothbrush, and I will do that. I'll continue to, give her like black seed oil, give her things that I've been giving her. Actually, we paused on the black seed oil, but I'm going to go ahead and start giving that to her again. And she takes it with no problem. She's she's an amazing little 3-year-old. She's a trip. Um, the dentist, of course, she was like, "Do you have any questions?" And of course, my husband had a question. And then my daughter said, she told me, she's like, "I have a question." I said, "Okay." I said, "She has a question." She said, "Can we go?" I'm like, "Are we finished?" And so that's her personality. She's a Sagittarius, outspoken, definitely, of course. I gotta figure out, I gotta look up, that's what my daughter's saying. We gotta look up and see where her moon is. We gotta look up and see where her moon side is. Her rising sign too, shoot. She is, oh my goodness. Seems like I hear something. It might be my mother-in-law. I'll be back. Because I don't hear it again, but it might be her. I'll be back. Okay, well, it wasn't her. She sleeps, so that's good. Um, but I don't even know what I was saying. But, it's just, it's been one of those days. I could use like 50 hugs right now, but it's okay. It's okay. Um, I haven't been really doing the podcast like I'm thinking I need to, but that's because I haven't been waking up early in the morning. Usually I wake up in the mornings and, I do it before everyone else wakes up. My husband is up. But I just, shoot, I be sleeping in, y'all. I be exhausted. Um, I be exhausted, shoot. And I don't have nobody's job to be at, so I will sleep in. And This morning, actually, today was my day of rest, like I was saying, and usually I'll sleep into about 9:30, but she had to be at the dentist at 9, so I woke up like at 7. I was like, and then I didn't even go to bed last night till about 12:15. I did not want to get up this morning. But as soon as we came home, um, did we eat first? No, actually we didn't. Shoot, me and my daughter sat on the couch and it was over. Actually, because I had a headache. Excuse me. I had wanted to soak my feet, so I pulled, my foot thing out. I filled it up with hot water. I put magnesium salts in it and some peppermint, and I put my foot in it, y'all. And so I slept like that. She was on my lap, her head was laying on the rest of the couch and the armrest of the couch. And shoot, I laid my head back. I was out. We slept for about 2 hours. My feet stayed in the water the whole time, y'all. So, I was all pruned up. I was all pruned up. But, whatever. Whatever. So, my biggest thing is to make sure my daughter is not in any discomfort. Continue to give her herbs and to give her things to um, keep her teeth for as long as I can, and to make sure she she's healthy and she's okay. Um, I don't know. Uh, things happen and we can't always explain why they happen. Even when I was pregnant with her, as far as herbs and teas, not teas, that's not what I say, but herbs and vitamins. I'm not crazy about vitamins, but I will try to find the best ones. Excuse me, that I could find, and take, of course, because I was pregnant, for extra safety, even raw. There was a vitamin that I did. It was called Plant. It wasn't PLANT, it was PLNT, and they were some raw vitamins. Um, and then some other raw food prenatal vitamins. So, we can try to prevent and try to do this and try to do that and try to do this and try to do that. And we still can't predict no outcomes. We still can't make things turn out exactly how we want them to turn out. Some people are like, oh, it's because you're feeding them junk. You're feeding them this. My daughter has never had any artificial ingredients fed to her, okay? So even when I was pregnant, but like I said, I've been in previous podcasts, I've been on my health journey, awakened health food journey for about 14, 13 years, um, because Ayala, she's 14, and I started finding out she had 7, you know what? She had 7 of those, and that's when, like I said, and she's she'll be 15 in February, but she had 7 of you know what, and the first 7, and so that's when I started researching. I was like, hmm, what? Oh no, So it's been. I mean, like we don't eat no artificial nothing. I cook from scratch. We grind our own flour. Y'all, I'm like picky. I was like, I want the best that I can give my children. I want to give that to them. And me feeding them the way I feed them will be the foundation of their adulthood, you know? I mean, like, they should have real food. They shouldn't know what anything tastes like that has artificial anything in it. They don't know about no red 40 dye, no artificial this. You know how you see naturally artificial? What? Y'all, we should not be eating that stuff. That stuff has side effects to it. And then I know you can say, well, look at you. You did that, but she still came out with tooth decay. She did. No, well, she didn't come out with tooth decay. And her little baby, like, not baby, but like when her teeth first started coming out, they were perfect. It's like it happened overnight. Um, and of course, with me being into herbs and an aspiring herbalist, I'm like, oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to do that. Oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to do that. And it's because I am a mother. I am, and I love my family. Like I said, the what I do and the way I maneuver as far as with their food and the cloth that they wear, what I let them watch, what I let them hear. I'm very, 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 very picky about it. Very. hmm Because it's the foundation that builds the ending. It's the foundation. And they deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve to eat the best food. They deserve to. They never had anything out of a microwave. Are you serious? Well, there's no microwave in my house. But I'm just saying, we have to take care of ourselves. As long as I live, I want to be healthy. I want to be able to walk and run, jump, flip, whatever it is that I want to do. I want to be able to do that. It's my body. It's a machine. If we feed it properly, it'll go. It will go. It will run. It will go and it will treat you good. And so, this is what all my work is for. So, my body can last a lot longer than what people think it should last. It's telling my storage space is almost gone. Okay, and it tell me how much longer I can do it, but we have to take matters into our own hands. I don't mind living long, healthy, but people don't even care to live long no more because they ain't healthy and they hurting and they sick. So it's like 55, I'm done, I'm good, check me out. Six, like my mom, she is 60. She turned 60 this year and she feels old. But my husband is older than her, and it's like, okay, look, he's not old, okay? So it's like for her to sit and talk about she's old and my husband's older than you and he ain't old. Do you hear me? He's not old. Okay? Shoot. It's just, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna end because the storage on my phone, it said whatever it said about the storage. My children are always recording videos on my phone. They're amazing videos, though. It's like, oh my goodness, you're going to make me give you a YouTube channel because you need to be seen. You need to entertain people. My 7-year-old, he acts so shy and stuff, but when he cuts the camera on, oh my goodness, he just becomes a little adult. Um, and it's amazing just to watch them. And they're they're so brilliant. Like my 3-year-old, we could sit and talk, and it's like I'm talking to an adult. My 7-year-old, we could sit and talk, and it's like I'm talking to an adult. My 10-year-old, we could sit and talk, and it's like I'm talking to an adult. And then, especially the 14-year-old, it's just like they're amazing, and it has to do with the atmosphere that they are growing up in. It has to do with what I feed. It has to do with what they intake, what I feed them. None of that. All natural stuff. All natural stuff. It's worth it though. It's worth it. Tiring too. Community living has got to be amazing, okay? Because it is tiring, but it pays off. And that's what keeps me going is the after effects, the aftermath, mm-hmm, I did that. Oh, yeah, I taught them how to read. Oh, the math, I taught them how to do that. Oh, I taught them that too. Oh, my husband, he's the linguist, okay? So he does like the languages, martial arts, um, sewing, not sewing. Him and I is the sewing. He helps me learn more about sewing, but in music, playing the instruments. I don't play no instruments. So those are the things he teaches them, but everything else I do it. And if I need help with math, I ask him for his assistance. So it's very interesting around here, and it's life, and that's what we have. We have life around here. So I'm happy to cut the camera off because my head is hurting. I've been doing this like the whole time, but I'm gonna cut it off and work on what I was supposed to be working on. I guess I just needed to check in, and I pray everyone is fine, everyone is doing well. I pray that you are continuing to think about you, mode to your higher self of you, and enjoy life because it is to be enjoyed, it's to be explored, and we're supposed to continue to elevate. It's all right. It's your higher self, right? Mm-hmm. I'll talk to you later. Okay? See ya.